Sonic Universe, Issue 21. We started out with being shown a few days ago where some Zone Cop airships are flying after Eggman Nega's airship, and one of them says that this is his 47th Zone Border leap. Only 47th? He's saying that as if zone hopping by itself is evil, which is stupid. What if you needed to zone hop to save your life or something? In fact, Kinto Bor, the good Robotnik, wants to zone hop to find a cure for buns. Does that mean the Zone Cops would want to go after him, too? Then we cut to the present day, where we see Amy showing Cream and Vanilla Freedom HQ. Vanilla looks depressed, saying the place looks very rustic and casual. Didn't you have a mansion earlier? I guess that would explain her disappointment, but she should be grateful. Amy says that they each have their own room in this base. I like that. Just then, Nicole contacts them from the computer screen, with her text being back to green for some reason. Why would she sound more robotic over the phone and not anywhere else? Cream happily says that it's the computer maid lady from the city, and Nicole greets them, with Vanilla stuttering her hello as if she's either afraid of her or shy in general. I hope it's the latter, and telling Cream that's not polite to bother them and to point. Nicole says that she's been studying a strange energy signal the past few days and still can't pinpoint its exact location for some strange reason. Amy's given permission to use her handheld form to check it out, and Cream is allowed to tag along with her to the forest. Amy explains that while it looks like their base is in an ugly location, it used to be in a forest, which they haven't even tried to replant yet for some reason. I guess they're waiting until Eggman's defeated first, because it would be kind of pointless since Eggman would just destroy all the tree saplings anyways. Cream wasn't aware of any of this because she didn't grow up in Knothole. So where did she grow up? Burville? Guess we'll never know. Cream apologizes to Amy for reminding her of what happened to Knothole, being polite, and after Amy says she can relax around her, she starts saying the word chow multiple times, which is somehow supposed to form a language of its own that Cream can understand for some stupid reason. I've learned that it would be plausible for a whole language to be formed of multiple words as long as it's a very pitch-based language, but just one word is just stupid. It'd be fine if they just explained she's telepathic and can read the chow's mind by seeing the pictures and feelings in their thoughts. By the way, if Cream is telepathic enough to read Cheese's mind, why can't she do it with every other character? That would be a cool ability, if kind of like a breach of privacy. Cheese told her that he saw something up ahead, and they rush ahead and almost get hurt by the fire of Blaze, who says that if they're hunting for emeralds, they better back off. Amy naturally tells her off, "Who do you think you are, showing up out of nowhere and throwing around fire like that?" Exactly. Blaze is so paranoid, I guess she just assumes the two of them are evil treasure hunters. And then Blaze has the social skills of a wet piece of paper once again, because she refuses to tell her who she is, ignoring her questions and making herself look like the bad guy. Is this going to be a repeat of Tanya Del Rio's introduction for Blaze? It saddens me to say that even the games wrote Blaze meeting Amy better than this, because at least in Rush, they didn't get into a fight right away for nothing. After they waste panels fighting, Amy reveals that she knows Sonic, and Blaze asks how she knows him despite saying that he's a hero of Mobius. Therefore, it should be obvious to her that a lot of people will know who he is. Finally, Cream gets their attention yelling, and says that the shiny thing they saw in the distance was grabbed by Cheese. We might have avoided it if we wasted panels and she had been brave enough to say this earlier. Instead, she's so overly polite that she even says they can go back to fighting now if they like. I like her already. Her strangely polite behavior is fascinating. Blaze says that fighting over garbage was humiliating, and actually apologizes for her behavior, walking away, refusing any help. Amy asks her how she knows Sonic, because I wonder how Sonic didn't explain to everyone about Blaze a while ago since he had Tails with him for Rush Adventure to vouch for his story. Why wouldn't he brag to his friends about his adventures? That's basic conversation! Why were you gone, Sonic? Where were you? Let me tell you! You'd think Sonic the Hedgehog would take every opportunity he can to boast about his achievements. It only takes learning her name for Amy to say that Sonic did tell her about her, and Blaze lampshades that she was an idiot to know who she was, without saying why. That Sonic should have told her about a purple cat and had Amy recognize her on sight because of that. Surprisingly, Amy doesn't completely lose her temper from being told she wasn't thinking, and only says that she's seen a lot of weird stuff and Blaze doesn't stand out too much. How? What other fiery purple cats have you seen? Magical Mobians still kinda stand out. Blaze sighs, space palming, and says that Sonic helped her recover one of the 7 Soul Emeralds, and with its power, she's been slowly tracking down the rest, across her world, and others. Others? This better be explained as Eggman Nega scattering them or something. Well, it was, but subtly. But the point is that it's not very likely that literally all the soul emeralds would have eventually, by accident, fallen out of Eggman Nega's airship. And even then, why would he scatter them instead of keeping them for himself? That doesn't make any sense. Not to mention, it would be nice to see stories about the other worlds that Blaze visits, because that implies that she goes to not only this world, but also other worlds. But we'll never get to see that. Cream points out that Amy's being presumptuous about Sonic dating her later, and she's also being presumptuous by saying that Sonic knows they're meant to be together delusionally. This is oddly inconsistent since she's supposed to be overly polite. Or is it that because of her naivety, Cream actually has terrible social skills and is trying as hard as she can to be polite most of the time to overcompensate? Maybe even social disorder, that'd be interesting. Which is why they'd never confirm it. Blaze is confused that Amy wants to help her find a soul emerald so quickly, and Team Rose goes over to the Great Forest, where Nicole says that one moment the signal's strong and the next is almost gone. That doesn't make any sense either. Blaze acts like an antisocial bitch again by arbitrarily not telling them what her soul emerald says, and Rouge suddenly shows up from a tree out of nowhere saying stuff that's not really helping. She says that she wants to help them and has been following the same odd readings as them. Then there's an amusing joke where she says, "That and it doesn't take much spying when anyone within 100 feet can hear you. Have you found the soul emerald yet? How about now?" Amy angrily tells Cream to hold Nicole for a minute, and she argues with Rouge, who admits that she's not worse than Fiona, and they let her on their team. They couldn't predict the future. She's just saying stuff to annoy her, which isn't helping. If she wants to help them so bad, I expect her to have better social skills than that, considering she's supposed to be the manipulative type. Blaze is the mediator for once, in her own unique way, as she shouts at them to stop fighting and either help her or leave. Rouge salutes her, saying to take command, being used to working for Gun, which would have strong leadership like that. And Cream is hurt from the fact that Blaze said she didn't care about who any of them are. Blaze tells Rouge that her soul emerald keeps her world alive. Interesting concept, but I have a question. How did the soul dimension not completely fall apart a long time ago if it's been separated from so many soul emeralds for that long? And why did the soul dimension look very much not destroyed the last time we saw it? Was it only that one area, and the rest of the world was cracking apart like Low Rule? It's obvious the writer didn't think this concept through. Rouge looks unhappy as she thinks that this would make stealing the soul emerald more complicated, hopefully being conflicted about whether this is worth it. She says that they have an energy spike at a fallen tree bridge, and Nicole says that whatever they're tracking is at the bottom of the ravine. Rouge says that she'll fly Blaze down there, and Cream flies Amy. Cheese is told that he can't stop the tree from falling on his own and gets hurt by it, but not injured, of course. And Amy tells Cream that on 3 she'll swing her up. Before she can do that, Blaze uses her fire powers to save the day. Fortunately, all the heroes compliment her in amazement. I was expecting Amy to get mad at how she stole her thunder. Blaze questions how Rouge knows she's a princess, and she just says that she has her sources. It took a little while for me to realize that Shadow must have told her about Blaze. She and Nicole point out the energy signature being right ahead of them, and Nicole says the object around the emerald is trying to mask the energy signature, explaining why the signal kept fading out. Now that she's found the emerald, Blaze lets her guard down enough to bashfully apologize for being distrustful and shake Cream's hand in a white void of laziness. Predictably, when Rouge steals the emerald, Blaze immediately jumps to the conclusion that none of them were to be trusted, even though Rouge obviously betrayed Amy by pushing her away. How paranoid is Blaze? Fortunately, she immediately sees the other heroes defending her and fighting Rouge, which hopefully teaches her that Amy and Cream were on her side after all. She is genre savvy enough to create a wall of fire trapping Rouge, and tells her that if she gives her the soul emerald, she'll let her live. Rouge says sarcastically that if only there were some big, strong men around to help her when she's defenseless, and this is the signal for Omega and Shadow to show up with an explosion and back her up. She knows that her world needs the emerald to stay alive, and yet she has no problem with taking it. This issue is by Ian Flynn, and as Blaze, after a brief violent confrontation with Amy, get convinced to let her and Cream help her find the soul emerald, which is in this dimension, with its signal being weakened, for what I can only assume is because Eggman Nego left it there. Blaze is an antisocial bitch the whole time, who acts so overly paranoid of everyone around her for no real reason. Are they gonna explain that she was bullied as a kid and that's why she hates everybody? I don't have any faith in the comic to do that, because God forbid, that'd be different from the games. and it's pretty strange that Rouge should have no hesitation whatsoever in stealing an emerald that Blaze's world needs to survive, without even reasoning that if it survived for this long without it, what's the big deal? The whole "it needs the emerald to survive" thing came out of nowhere and makes no sense, because logically by now, it should be long gone. That would be like if Lowrule lost his Triforce and was perfectly fine for years without cracking apart, and yet everyone was acting like it was doomed right away anyways. And Shadow doesn't seem to look conflicted at all about competing with Blaze for an emerald here. He just looks antagonistic. I like how Cream's overly polite to try to compensate for naive lack of social skills, with her offending Amy for an example for naivety. It would be interesting if she is revealed to be autistic, and that's basically why she's acting the way she is. So I'm sure they'd never reveal that ever, because that would be controversial. It was alright, but Blaze was being pretty obnoxious. And they say Shadow is an antisocial jerk.